Welcome to Around the Table. It is a Thursday here in Harrison, Arkansas, and Boone County. It is the 13th of March, and I'm sitting across from my co-host for today, Ann Limley. Hey, Ann.
Hi, Dan. You made that sound like I'm not never here.
Well, I'm living for today.
Well, you know
today
what?
only.
That's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
One day at a
What are you
time.
living for? For the weekend?
I am living
Some people
for next weekend. That's what I'm living for.
Yeah. What's happening next weekend, Ann?
I'm
Please tell us.
I'm going scuba diving. So, yeah.
Did you get your? Do you have your passport?
Oh, yes.
Do you have to have a passport?
Yes. My passport is got several stamps in it, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I'm on my second one because I had to
Read out of pages.
renew. No, but I'm not ever going to throw away that old one. It's part of my history.
Well, don't you have to turn it in?
They
old
send
one?
it back to you.
Uh-huh.
I think they send it back.
They
send it back to you. Your old one.
You turn it in.
Yeah.
And then you give you another one, or they give it back to you.
You turn it in because you're applying for. Or I don't remember if I had to send it in or not. Actually, I did all my reapplication online or my renewal online, and I don't remember. I may have had. I don't remember what I had to do. Yeah. There you go. It was just
How long
I
is your
did
story?
what the instructions said.
Okay.
And now I have both passports,
Yeah.
my old one and my new one.
The
I
new
even have
ones
the
are-
one from when I was a kid.
I got one back in 2013 or something like that.
They're good for about 10 years.
And the new ones look entirely different. The one where your picture's on there has got it's hard. It's like a laminated hard piece of plastic.
I have not investigated my passport
Oh, you
that
have
closely.
it. You should look. It's a hologram, and there's a
Yes.
if you hold three corners of the passport, there's a hologram of you that pops up, and you can turn it, and they can see a 360
Is this
of
just your passport? Because mine doesn't
you.
do that.
Yeah, my passport does that.
Why do they do that?
I for identification. It's the world of 3D now. I mean, come on, hologram stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
y'all, please don't believe a word he's saying.
Huh?
Please,
And what I thought
if
was
you're not passport savvy, this is all bull malarkey.
what?
There is no holly. No,
I'd sit there.
in your mind.
I had to replace the battery. I played with the thing so much. You can
How
do
does
it.
that battery work in security? That's what I want
I
to
don't
know.
know. I don't know. You just pop it out. There's a little place on the back. You have to punch.
Oh, now we have to take it out.
You have to take two. You have to hit two corners at the same time and put your little pinky on your nose of your picture, and the battery pops out.
I think your battery popped out a long time ago.
And you can do some cool things with your hologram. If you do this, like if you shake it up and down, you get longer and it goes like Jello.
Would you please document the process of you leaving the United States, going through security with your hologram passport, and please be doing that and show us what it looks like because I am intrigued.
Okay. If I remember, I'll do that.
Kelly,
Yeah.
if you're listening, please.
I can see.
You'll figure out a way to do it. You'll figure out a way to send a video
I'm sure.
of it.
I'm envisioning Kelly right now looking in her lap and just doing this,
Rolling her eyes,
shaking her head, and oh my gosh, this is what I have to deal with every day.
every day. Oh, you're such a lucky woman.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Anything going on in your world? Your chickens are doing fine.
Yeah, the chickens are good.
Chickens are good.
I'm a little, I'm there. Some of them are used to free ranging, and I'm not letting them do that every day because
Yeah.
of the hawk and the.
You
Whatever.
got hawks, yeah.
Yeah, we got a hawk and coyotes were. What is it? Coyotes were mating or something.
Yeah, this is the time of year when they do that.
Yeah, so they get a little aggressive, I think.
Have you had some that turned up missing because of a hawk or a?
Yes.
Yes.
And we have found the remains. I will say.
Yeah. Do they?
Under a tree where the hawk sits.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I wished I could catch her. I've got a security cam facing that direction. I wished I could catch one in the process of finding out who's doing the killing, because they'll do it right in the middle of the day.
Oh yeah, we've had coyotes come up in the middle of the day and haul them
Oh,
off.
really?
Oh yeah,
Oh, so you've seen this, huh?
my son did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, but I like my eggs. I like my eggs, so I'm trying to keep them happy, and I give them a lot more table scraps than I used to. Someone, I can't remember who it was, told me that they don't have a sense for spiciness or anything like that, so you can feed them all that stuff. So I've started me a little pile, and I take it out there every day when I go and collect eggs, and I give them some scratch to keep them entertained. But
We bought Kelly bought a big container of grub worms or
mealworms,
yeah.
because they're expensive.
Oh,
mealworms
this,
are
no,
pricey.
this thing was this big, and it was like $10 or something.
Oh.
I mean, it was like, wow, that's a good deal.
Okay.
So, our chicken loves that.
Yeah, it's like a delicacy for
It
them.
is.
And I haven't, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should get them
Yeah,
some.
it's in a big container. Anyway,
'Cause I've seen the little bags, and they're pricey for a little
yeah,
bag of
even
that
the
stuff.
small cans are like
Dumb.
ridiculous.
It was dumb.
But we want to let people know that our show is sponsored by Stone Bank.
Yes, it
And we
is.
wanna-
Thank you, Stone Bank.
Do a big shout out to them, and they're located right here in Harrison, Arkansas. Want to thank them for being a sponsor.
Plus, we have to talk a little bit about, I don't know where my picture is of the coaster, mountain coaster.
Have you got a picture of the coaster?
Well, no, but I have a picture of the information. Runaway
Okay.
Mountain Coaster is maximizing your fun. All through, it's a value particularly for spring break.
Yep.
And it is, guess what? Done on a drum roll. Buy one, get one free tickets.
I like that.
That's a great deal. Go to runwaybranson.com/spring break for all your details. And there are some restrictions that do apply. But
Yeah. Yeah, we were
go check that
talking.
out.
We were talking yesterday about what different school districts have spring break at different times. So, but don't worry, they've got them all covered.
You're covered.
They're covered.
Just go take advantage of that
Yeah.
and enjoy. It will be a great time for the family.
Yep. Okay. And we have some great weather out today. It's going to be good all week. I think there's going to be a rain, a little bit of
Slight
chance
chance.
tomorrow. But you want to fill us in?
Sunny with a high of 80 for today. Yes. That's my weather. Tonight, increasing clouds, though, with a low of 57. Friday, a 30% chance of rain in the forecast. Sunny, though, with a high of 77. There will be some wind. A gust could be up to 45 miles per hour, but the high is 77. Friday night, mostly clear and low around 52. Then Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 68. Saturday night, partly cloudy with a low of 37. And Dan, take it away on Sunday.
Sunday, high 58 degrees. Low for the overnight low for Sunday night will be 39 degrees with winds a little gusty, around 15 miles per hour. And then Monday, sunny with a high near 74 degrees, and the overnight low will be 54. Tuesday and Wednesday looks like the high is going to be in the mid-70s for Tuesday and maybe 70 for Wednesday with a 30% chance of showers.
Not bad
Not
weather
bad.
at all. Very pleasant.
Yeah, and we want to let people know that our guests today on the show, after we take our first break, will be Gene Woody and Lionel Cantu. Cantu. Let me put another
They
zero
are with
there.
the Boone County War Memorial
Cantu.
Organization.
All right.
And we'll
I don't
find
think
out
we've
all about that.
never talked about
We
them
have
before.
not. We have not. So
Always
I'm looking
like,
forward to that.
Always like a new topic to talk about.
And these, I think Gene actually contacted the radio station and had mentioned that he wanted to come on the show. And so I'm saying that because if you're listening and you are an organization that you would like the community to know more about, we invite you to either call the station or you can go to our Facebook page, send us a message, and we will do our best to get you scheduled to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, let's do our topic to ponder.
Okay,
What do you
let's
say?
Get up, get moving, get those thinking caps on. It's time to ponder this topic.
Ugh, good grief.
And this week,
What?
Ann's having a hard time with these topic to ponders this week, and they're all based on truth. And they're a little bit, you really got to scratch your brain a little bit on these.
Yeah.
And, and I've realized that after looking at some of the answers, there's no real answers on a lot of these because they are subjective. It depends on the time of day or who you're with or whatever. But anyway, today's topic to ponder is, does truth exist independently of human perception, or do we create it?
Truth is truth.
I know. But do you perceive it's true, or is it really true?
I'm sure that exists.
How do you find out?
I don't know how you go to the core to find out.
How do you find out?
What is truth? Now, I talk about the Bible. I think the Bible is truth.
Yeah.
So if you can relate it back to something, along that line, then I'd say there's your truth. But that's my religious belief.
I think
you may not have that.
I think there has to be evidence.
Fact, evidence.
Yes, there has to be evidence, a real concrete manifestation of what your belief is.
What about if you just read that, but you believe it? Like in the Bible.
I know you haven't
seen it.
That's faith. You have faith.
So where does that play in?
I don't know.
See, it's loaded. It's very complicated.
Pretty loaded.
Yeah.
Anyway, today's question, go to our Facebook page and give us your answer.
I don't think anybody's answered yet.
Well, they may not. And these are a little tough. I get it. But if it speaks to you, then that's great. Does truth exist independently of human perception, or do we create it?
I think it's perfectly legit for you to ponder that before answering.
Yeah. And I think we've discovered that truth is entirely different than facts. Two different things. You can believe it, and then when you get there, you go, "Oh, I was wrong the entire time."
I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Because the facts were...
The facts are different.
The facts were facts.
The facts were facts.
Yeah.
All right.
Good one, Dan. I'm so exhausted.
Boy.
I can't wait to be gone that week and not even have to deal with these because I'm not answering.
I probably won't do any that week.
Cheater.
We're doomed to repeat ourselves, so let's find out what happened today in history.
Columbia now presents a special broadcast, which will include pickups direct from London, from Paris, and such other European capitals as at this late hour abroad have communication channels available.
87 years ago today, CBS broadcast the first edition of the World News Roundup, the longest-running news broadcast in America. Correspondent Robert Trout anchored the broadcast, which covered Nazi Germany's invasion of Austria.
Wow, that was pretty cool back then, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This is Edward Murrow speaking from Vienna. It's now nearly 2:30 in the morning, and Herr Hitler has not yet arrived.
This was 87 years ago, the same story about the World News Roundup, the longest-running news broadcast in America. The broadcast also marked the journalistic debut for someone who would become a legend at CBS News, and that was Edward R. Murrow.
I just can't believe it. I just hope he's all right.
29 years ago today, a gunman burst into an elementary school in Dunblane, Scotland, and opened fire on a kindergarten class. He killed 16 children and one teacher before taking his own life. This mother waited for the news, so I can't even fathom.
Oh, boy.
Buonasera.
This was back in 2013, 12 years ago today. Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, of Argentina was elected Pope and took the name Francis. The first Pope from the Americas appeared on the central balcony of St. Peter's Basilica and spoke to the crowd below.
Okay.
I actually got along well with Rex, but really it was a different mindset. It was a different thinking.
7 years ago today, President Trump fired Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and nominated CIA Director Mike Pompeo to take his place.
To unleash the full power of the federal government in this effort today, I am officially declaring a national emergency. Two very big words.
This was 5 years ago today, back in 2020. President Trump declared the coronavirus pandemic a national emergency, freeing up money and resources for state and local governments to fight the outbreak.
Former middleweight champion Marvin Hagler has died Hagler is considered to be one of the greatest middleweight fighters to ever enter the ring, holding the undisputed middleweight title from 1980 through 1987. In his career, Hagler sported a career record of 62-3-2, including 52 knockouts. Hagler's 78% knockout percentage is the highest of anyone in middleweight history. Hagler was just 66 years old.
4 years ago today, marvelous Marvin Hagler, the middleweight boxing great, whose title reign and career ended with a split decision loss to Sugar Ray Leonard in 1987, died at the age of 66 at his New Hampshire home. CBS News' Joe Musso remembered the legendary fighter.
Okay. And then we have a birthday cut today. 86 years ago today, singer Neil Sedaka was born. Laughter in the Rain is one of his latest...
It was a
later hits, yes.
Yeah,
that was a later hit.
For sure.
Brainerd.
Yeah. Home Paul Bunyan, Babe the Blue Ox.
Babe the Blue Ox.
Babe the Blue Ox. 75 years ago today, actor William H. Macy was born. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 1997 for his role in Fargo. He played a husband who schemes to have his wife kidnapped. He's questioned at his car dealership by a police sergeant from Brainerd, played by Frances McDormand, who won a Best Actress Oscar for her role in that.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And our last birthday cut is 53 years ago today. Rapper Common was born. His biggest hit was "Glory," a debut with, a duet with the soul singer John Legend that won Best Original Song at the 2015 Oscars for the movie Selma.
There you go. There's your Today in History.
All right. And now when we come back, we have one of our two of the guests that are supposed to be here. We've got Lionel Cantu is here, and maybe Gene Woody will show.
Yeah, maybe he's just running a little late.
Yeah, he's maybe running a little late. But we're going to get Lionel in here, and we're going to be talking about the Boone County War Memorial. Stick around. Stay with us. You're listening and watching Around the Table with Dan and Ann. Stay with us. Hey, and welcome back to Around the Table with Dan. And we have with us in the studio Lionel Cantu, and he's here to talk about the Boone County War Memorial. And you know, he never stopped talking. When he came into the room, you just started off talking. And
but that's what we like.
We love that.
We want you just to sit at the table and talk to us like a conversation.
Right.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And we realized that you don't sleep much.
Oh, you must have heard. I have it's a joke, but it's the truth. I have a genetic. It's not a defect that I only have to sleep 4 hours a day. So I go to bed at 10 at night and get up at 2 in the morning and do the paperwork and then hit on out during daylight and ride my bike, play golf, or go the other activities.
Oh my gosh!
Other organizations and Chamber of Commerce I belong to, and
well, no wonder you're so busy.
At 10.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Do you take a nap during the day?
No.
That's
you know, it's what they say that movie is Space Invaders. You can sleep when you die. Okay, so that's pretty much the way.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, you know, we read a lot of stories about trendy things and research, and they say you need more than 4 hours of sleep.
It depends on your physical
genetics and makeup and everything. Yeah.
I like to think I have good genetics. My mother's still alive. She just turned 89 last week.
What's your heritage?
I'm Mexican, Hispanic.
Okay.
In the old days, they would say Chicano. I believe that's a California term. I'm a Texas Mexican. A little rivalry there. But,
okay. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only Cantu in Boone County, but we're fully assimilated into the American culture.
Right.
I'm a second-generation American. My family members immigrated legally, into the United States.
You got to say that these days.
Legally into the United States.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
Entire families in the military. My wife, my brothers, my in-laws. My father was a 30-year veteran. My mother was a Department of Defense civilian almost her entire adult life. And not that everybody needs to go in, but we like doing that.
Well, it sounds like you have a passion for the veterans.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And I think that's partly why you're here. You belong to an organization or an association of the Boone County War Memorial, correct?
Yes, the Boone County War Memorial was started in 1987. It may have gone back further than that because they have records older than that. It's the Boone County War Memorial Association, as Gene likes to constantly remind me of that. And it is not a military organization. It's an organization that honors service members that have passed away in service of their country. They don't necessarily had to die during the time of war. So civilians and former military belong to it. A lot of people think it's just a solely veterans organization, and it's not. And we're very, very thankful for our non-military people that belong. Boy Scout Troop 60, put the little plug in for them. They help us quite a bit. We are in charge of and responsible for the bricks that are on the Boone County Square.
Yes.
And they literally get into, well, they don't get into knockdown, drag out fights. I'm sure Todd, the Scoutmaster, won't allow that. But they get their merit badges for laying down the bricks. So we sit around with Coke or coffee and watch them, and they do that. We're in charge of the monument that's out there also. And while I have the opportunity to explain the difference, because not everybody knows the difference between Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Okay.
And I can understand the misconception. Sure. Memorial Day is to honor those that have passed away either through age, through service connection, disability, or whatever, and that's what Memorial Day is about. Veterans Day, November the 11th day, the 11th month, the 11th hour, if you like any kind of history, and they honor all veterans, American veterans that served in the military.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily have to be in the war.
Right, and you answered it. Never mind.
So I'll jumped ahead. I apologize.
No, that's fine. No,
that's
I did that.
Perfectly fine.
So we do that. We're in charge of that, and it's coming up on Memorial Day. It's always the last Monday of the month at the town square, and I've been chosen for good or bad reasons to give this speech every year. And what we've done is instead of going all over the map, I have chosen to go over a specific class or type of people. One year it was the American Indians, and I think I did that last year. Before that, it was the Marines. This year it is about our Black Americans that served from the time of Revolutionary War up until now. A little bit of history, and I don't want to spoil the speech, but the first individual that was killed in the Revolutionary War was a Black American. Cypress addicts. A lot of people don't know that. That was during the Boston Tea Party. And I'll stop there because we don't want to sport. And I'm sure some history teachers checking me right now.
That's quite interesting.
Over at Harrison High.
Yeah.
But, so we do that. Getting back a little bit about, and I'm sure this is kind of interesting, and you can see our passion for the service, but like I said, the Boone County War Memorial is not a purely service organization. It's civilians. But to go into the military, there's three types of people that go in. The people that need a job, people that are patriot, or people that they come from the family. And some of them are all three. And my wife wanted me to particularly tell you this. During the draft, they only drafted males for whatever reason. Right. That's the way our country is. Every single female that served in the military was a volunteer. Now think about that. They were volunteers. And we've had some that were killed during wartime. So hats off to them as well.
No kidding.
You mean even the nursing staff?
Yes, even the nursing staff. My wife was a medical corps officer. But the nurses are military. They join. They almost always have their nursing degrees before they come in. They're made first lieutenants or captains. A lot of our surgeons that come in, they're captains or majors because of their background and their schooling.
Because they're,
And to kind of pay them up to what they should be getting.
Yeah.
But yes, they perform a very valuable service.
I've read several books on accounts of the women who were the nurses and during that time, and it was very interesting to see it from their perspective. You know, because they are fighting, but it's a whole different fight.
Yeah,
well, it is. They're there. There's a series that came out, I guess, 20 years ago with Dana Delaney, and it was called China Beach. It talked about centered around the nurses in the Vietnam War, and a lot of it's truthful. And so we don't ever want to forget the females that served into the military. Not that they would let you.
I think back in that time, it was more of men are doing the job of the killing and the protecting, and we don't want the women to be hurt or vulnerable. I think that might have been
that's true, and understand
that was a society back then.
That was society,
a hot subject right now. Israel, however you want to say it, they have mandatory service the first 3 years once they reach a certain age or whatever, and they don't care whether you're male or female. They serve in some type of capacity. I don't know if United States of America will ever get to that point, whether we ever need to get to that point. But let you know there are other countries in this world that all genders are required to serve in some capacity.
Yeah. They don't discriminate there, I guess, at all.
Yeah, and I think we all have a job to do.
Yes, we do.
No matter what gender we are.
And we like to say that they thank us for our service, which was a lot different than the Vietnam era. My father served in the Vietnam era, and they thank us for our service, and we say thank you very much because we appreciate that. But if you didn't serve, we don't, and you shouldn't ever look down on someone that chose not to or couldn't because of whatever the situation is. They provide a valuable service, whether they build tanks or jeeps or whatever in the defense industry, or they were school teachers, which are very important, to move us along.
And there's some history, that you're talking about that brings light to why you have the Boone County War Memorial Association to honor veterans, because there's so much you can unpack about what those veterans did for us.
It is. And just a couple of administrative things, which are kind of funny or whatever. My father would give speeches also. He was a retired Command Sergeant Major, which is the highest enlisted grade you could achieve. So your speech should never go over 10 minutes. You lose the audience. And, of course, the Memorial Day ceremony is in the end of May, and it gets a little toasty out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of our attendees are over 50 years old, and they don't particularly care for the hot weather. You didn't grow in Texas, which doesn't bother me, but here it does.
Yeah.
So I keep the speech down to 10 minutes.
Well, and that's probably good. I mean, I'm sure that's good, actually.
It is.
You don't want to lose your audience.
Yeah.
No, that's what my father told me.
Is the Boone County War Memorial, is it a membership organization?
It is, but we don't charge anybody to get in. We have a couple of big benefactors, not important who they are. We don't veterans that are down on their luck, there's other organizations that do that. Camp Jack, which is a great organization from what I understand, they have people they help or whatever. And again, then we have the VA clinic here, and we have service officers that come out of the other organizations. We're there mainly to promote the Memorial Day activities. Then we also help, because I help with Wreaths Across America, and I'll talk to other Chamber of Commerce or whatever. But like I said, we're not a solely veterans organization, because civilians are a big part of our organization.
Your whole I guess umbrella is that you want to help. You want to bring recognition to
Yes,
veterans.
that's exactly right, ma'am.
Yeah.
But there's times when you may need volunteers. You want volunteers to help?
Yeah, we will need. I can think of the Wreath Across America, which is, I believe, it's the first or second Saturday in December. And I remember this year I gave a speech out there, and it was rainy and a little cool or whatever. And we have quite a few wreaths that we place on the graves or whatever. And that's another great organization. I believe it's the Daughters of the American Revolution.
DAR, yep.
Probably one of the hardest organizations to get into, because you have to be born into it. Yeah. Okay, and it's a great organization, and we help that. And they could certainly use volunteers. And if you want to volunteer, just let us know. And if we don't need volunteers at the time, we can always pass you off to the Veterans of the Foreign War or the Disabled Veterans or Camp Jack or something.
How do people get a hold of you? Contact-wise.
You know what? We have a Facebook page, and we also have a webbook page, just Boone County War Memorial Association. And like I said, I don't mind giving out my phone number. It's going to be a little strange because it's a Fort Worth, Texas area code.
That's fine.
817-228-6723.
You probably regret ever giving me that.
Oh, no. They call me when I'm on the golf course all the time in the middle of my backswing. If you knew my golf game, you'd know it doesn't affect me one bit.
Do y'all meet like periodically?
Yes, we do. That's a good. We always meet the fourth Tuesday of every month. Right now, at the Western Sizzlin', not Sizzler. I was corrected by that at 12 noon. Okay. At 12 noon, and you give me a call, and then we will give a reminder on email or text message. Almost everybody can be contacted one of those two communication fields. And we talk about what's going on and listen to what you have to say. And a couple of our members are what they call service officers. Those are people that belong to other veterans organizations that if someone needs some help with the VA, with their monstrous red tape, they will walk an individual that has a service connection disability and walk them through and help them out. And we have service officers that belong to us, but also other organizations. Okay. Mm-hmm. And like you said, the Branson, Missouri, and this encompasses this area, is the veterans capital of the world. Literally.
Really?
The veterans capital of the world. We have the largest Veterans Day parade is in Branson, Missouri every single year.
When is that happening?
It is on Veterans Day, November the 11th. Myself and another Marine, because most of our members are a little bit older than me, and they can't make the 3-mile walk with a banner, so they ride on the trailer, throw out candy, and say hello to people. Cool. But it's quite rain, sunshine, or sleet. We're out there, so there's a lot of good things about living here. Plus, it's a beautiful area of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And for someone from Texas to say that, because we're bigger than better than everybody else. Yeah. I love it here.
Yeah, but you're in Arkansas now, buddy.
I was born in Fort Chaffee. I don't tell too many people that.
Okay.
Really?
But I was.
So you are from Arkansas?
Yeah. My father was stationed in Fort Chaffee back in the 50s of the day.
Oh, that's good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's good information.
Yeah, thanks for coming in.
You're
we
quite
really
welcome.
appreciate it. Lionel Cantu from the Boone County War Memorials is a society association.
Yes, sir.
And if you want more information about that, you can go on Facebook and just search for the Boone County War Memorial, or you can give him a call at 817-228-6723.
That is absolutely correct.
All right. And you can call him. There's only one time you can't call him, and that's 4 hours, and I'm not sure when that is.
Probably you can call anytime.
10 to 2.
From 10 to 2. There you go.
Yeah.
In the evening time.
Thanks, Lionel.
Anytime. Well, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
We appreciate it.
And love your radio station. Love your music.
Well,
hey, thank you, sir.
Okay.
We're going to be back with some more. We're not going to be back with more music unless I start singing, and that's not going to happen. So we'll be back. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back to Around the Table with Dan and Ann. It is a Thursday, and I'm kind of excited about the weekend. It's supposed to be fairly nice.
Yeah, it is.
I've got a hiking trip planned Saturday.
Good for you. Where are you going?
Paradise Falls, I think.
I don't know where that is.
It's around the Bowen Gulf.
I don't know where that is.
Then why ask?
Because I was just
You
curious.
should know. It's past Lost Valley,
Okay.
past 21, past Highway 21,
Okay.
16, 21, down in that area. If somebody wants to try to find me, if I'm down there. Taking Kelly and maybe a couple other people.
Okay. Well, good.
We're going to have hiking boots. Going to have all the hiking stuff you need, like pants and water.
Are you trying to?
Maybe a protein bar,
Okay.
chugga, Ooh, look.
Do you use a walking stick?
I've got one.
Do you use a walking stick?
I typically don't.
Okay.
It seems like it just gets in the way.
Just curious.
I'm just bend over. I think it's for people that can't bend over, but I can still bend over.
I use one. I like it.
Oh, okay.
But you can kind of feel around. If it's leaves and stuff, you can see how
Yeah.
deep that hole.
I just put my hand in there and fluff around.
You and your hologram will do that all together.
I won't be taking my passport. Won't need that. There's no checkpoints.
You might. The aliens that are living in your brain may branch out.
Oh, I let them go if I'm hiking. Guys, can you go have fun?
I'm exhausted.
Oh boy. You've heard about this fancy dessert that tastes like a book?
Yeah, it sounds disgusting.
Yeah, I know it does. Why would anyone pay $360 for pudding that tastes like an old book?
I have no idea.
Well, I'm going to tell you. A chef at a Michelin star restaurant. What's a Michelin star? Is that like 14 stars or
like
something?
The big shebang.
Off the scale restaurant in Spain flavored his latest dessert with the pages of a dusty novel he found. So first off, I'm thinking, so the book is dirty?
Yeah.
It's filthy, right?
Right.
He said he's been fascinated by the smell of old books and wanted to know what it would taste like. But instead of just chewing on a page, he concocted a process that involves buttering the pages overnight, then scraping the butter off and soaking the book to draw its essence. The result is a spoonful of lavish, book-flavored custard that pretty much tastes like the menu.
I would like to interview him and see. Please tell me why and what are your takeaways from this?
What my question would be, okay, so you've got this weird fetish about eating book pages. So why do you want to make anything for anyone else to eat when you're the only one that's this weird?
Maybe he's not the only one that weird.
Well, maybe so. Anyway,
so there you go.
Doesn't say what it cost, but you can count me out.
I was going to say, if you go to Spain and want to try it, please report back because we're not giving it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Did you hear about that missing mom that she survived? She was found in Indiana and disappeared after nearly a week. And it turns out she fell asleep behind the wheel and drove off her road into a creek. She was trapped in the car for 6 days and survived by dipping her hoodie into the creek.
Okay.
So she got her water. She was trapped in the car for 6 days, though.
6 days.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy. Some guy driving through the remote area 80 miles outside of Chicago just happened to spot her car. She suffered a bunch of broken bones, and even though she had a phone with her, it fell just out of reach when the car crashed, and she had all those broken ribs. She couldn't reach for it.
Oh, my gosh.
What a helpless situation to be in.
Well, it's like a movie. You want to reach for it, and it's just, 2 inches away, and you can't reach it.
I can't imagine.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Really weird. And then also, a State Farm executive is fired after a secret video recorded that was leaked. One of the head honchos at State Farm Insurance was fired after he was secretly recording during what he thought was a Tinder date. His date was actually a journalist who hit record on their recording device during their dinner. The executive appeared to be talking about the company's rate hikes following the California fires. He said people built houses in the Palisades for their egos, and said that their rate hikes were kind of orchestrated. State Farm fired him and said his views do not reflect the position regarding the victims of this tragedy. But, they talk about that behind the closed doors, don't they?
Evidently. They do.
You have nothing to say, huh?
Nope, I don't. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut for once. You want to go on a cruise?
I've been on a cruise, and I like the cruise, but I don't like the idea of getting sick because everyone gets sick on the ship.
I mean, when it goes through the entire. You think about a tight community, right?
Yeah.
The CDC says that more than 80 people came down with a norovirus on a Princess cruise to Mexico over the weekend.
Ugh.
How horrific. People be hanging off the side. I don't know what they do.
Brother.
There were almost 2,000 people on board. And, it wasn't just the passengers. Some of the crew members got sick as well. The main symptoms were vomiting and diarrhea.
Of course.
Which you don't want to do in a tiny, confined ship. It's the second outbreak on this same ship this year already. Now, that's not saying anything's wrong with the ship.
Right.
But it could be hand washed. It could, who knows?
Well, it was on the same ship. I wonder if they killed all the viruses that were in the cracks of the, whatever.
That could be, I guess, huh?
Yeah, it could be. Those little boogers are pretty wild. And we've talked about these Easy Pass scams.
Yep.
I just got one on my phone.
Go figure.
I just got one right here. Easy Pass notice regarding toll payments. Your vehicle has an unpaid companion fee on March the 2nd, 2025. I have been nowhere.
Exactly.
Please take some time to resolve this issue within the next 12 hours to prevent it from being identified as fee evasion and to avoid causing further
That's exactly what they do. We had to go through these monthly videos.
Yeah.
And it talked about exactly that type of thing where they're making it threatening, and you feel like you have this. It's time sensitive and
that's
all
what
that kind of
do,
thing to get you to put on that link and, give them your information. Who's doing it, though?
Yeah. Well, the FBI says they're warning these people that are doing that, and they're saying delete the Easy Pass scam text or else. The FBI wants you to delete your text messages, but only the ones demanding you pay overdue highway tolls. Investigators have now linked more than 10,000 bogus Easy Pass websites to Chinese hackers, hoping to dupe you into giving them your banking information. The feds recommended not clicking on any link text that you get. One more way to tell if that text is bogus, they put the $sign after the amount you supposedly owe. So,
okay.
Anyway, they're rampant because I just got one 10 minutes ago.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
People, what time is it? Do we need a break?
Let's do one more.
All right. Okay. If you've spent most of your paycheck before payday, you are not alone. I think probably a lot more people than I realize fall in that category. A new survey finds that Americans who make $75,000 or less every year spend 51% of their check on bills mentally before it's deposited. So you already have it earmarked for whatever, which is how, honestly, you should do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? You should have what you owe first. They spend 43% of the rest of it within 3 days. Mortgages, food, health care, and utilities are the first bills that are more likely to be paid on payday. And 23% can't remember the last time they put money in their savings. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't help with the price of everything and all that now. It just seems to be, I don't know. Not everybody can save.
I know.
Nope,
they can't. Not especially if you got emergencies that pop up.
Right. And when you need your savings,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we're going to, now that we're all depressed, we're going to take a break and we're going to try to increase our attitude and pump it back up and be happy for the last few minutes of the show.
Don't worry.
We're going to be right back. Stay with us.
Channel 26.1.
Hey, and welcome back to Around the Table. Hope you got some weekend plans, because I do.
You do. I know you do.
I've got a full weekend. I'm going to hit the ground. I'm going to get up early Saturday morning, about maybe 10:30. Drink coffee for about an hour. Then I'm going to hit the road early.
Get her done, Dan. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Then I'm going to come back like at 12 and take a nap.
Cheater. And then you're going to go take your hike after your nap?
No, I'm going to get up early. And,
is that going to be your...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Get up around 10.
Okay.
Early.
Okay. 10 is not early.
I know. I was just waiting for you to catch on. I said it 3 times.
Oh. I guess, yeah, it didn't register at all.
Oh, boy.
Oh, dad, burn it, people.
Well.
Wow. iRobot. I have an iRobot.
Oh, yeah. Do you have an iRobot?
I have yes, her name is Rosie. I named her Rosie. But I guess they're financially not doing well. It says iRobot's latest financial filings show that the company is in a lot of debt. So if you own one, maybe you should buy ahead all the things you need to, like your brushes and your bags, unless you buy them from Amazon. They took out a $200 million loan back in 2023 after a deal with Amazon fell through. The company has also lost its CEO and fired half of its workforce over the last year. Anyway, it doesn't look good for them. If you're an iRobot user,
I looked at those things, and I'm thinking, if they'd dropped the price about 50%, I might buy one.
I know, they're
too expensive.
They are.
I know that it probably costs that much, but after you make a few of them, you get it down, and you can drop the price.
Right. And there's knockoff brands. I don't know a lot about them, to know if they're equally as good product.
Well, real robots are taking over. I mean, you can get the ones that stand there.
Would you have one in your house that just kind of went around and did everything really?
Absolutely.
That would be so bizarre.
It would be so wore out. I'd have to switch batteries out 2 or 3 times.
You'd be a lazy old man because you sit in your recliner and with your little remote, and you would not.
No, I wouldn't have the remote. I'd say change the channel. I'd have them to change the channel.
What about going out and hiking? Would it go hiking with you? Could you please bring me my water?
No, I'd say take care of the dogs while I'm gone.
Oh, there you go.
See how that works?
Okay.
Check the mail.
I can tell you research this.
Hey, have you seen those robots? They can do it now. They can do anything. You could push them over and they can hop right back up.
Do you think they can go bad?
Nah. Just pull the plug.
I know, but AI, don't you think that could be construed in a negative way or taken down the negative road? Maybe your robot could too. You're going to learn all about your bank account information. What if they're hacked by whoever?
What you do is you never ask them a question to make them ponder anything.
Okay, but you're like just like Alexa. If you say your bank account number out loud in your house, she hears it. Whatever. It's the same type of deal, though. Don't you think that it could possibly be corrupted? I guess is my.
What would weird me out if I were asleep in bed and I woke up and it was standing there.
No, that would freak me out.
Looking at me.
And on that note, today is total lunar eclipse and blood moon day.
Oh wow.
National Open and Umbrella Indoors Day. Do you live by that whole deal?
Oh, no.
What about walking under a ladder?
I don't care.
Okay.
I walk under them just because. I look for one that's leaned up against a house.
It's also National Good Samaritan Day.
World Kidney Day.
Okay.
And also National Earmuff Day. Why would you
do that in March
these days?
December should be that day.
Weird people.
Well, he patented him. Whoever patented him in
there you go.
March. So.
Kind of late in the day to be thinking about that. We got to go. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great one.